Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're well and have a fantastic day. In today's tutorial we will be moving forward with the gumball quilt after demonstrating to you the block, which was well received. So you will have that video today. I hope all is well, everyone is doing fantastically, and we will get on with this tutorial. Please do look out for the next block coming up on Wednesday for our quilt along. Okay, so I have 4 strips here together, and I have some jelly roll strips, as I said. Okay, now you can use scraps, you can use yardage, whatever you please. But what I really want you to bear in mind, especially if you're going to cut from yardage, is that you really look at the prints and the tone of the strips you're using. So I'm referring here to lights and darks. So as you can see, I have dark here, I have light, and I have dark. Okay, right, so what I want you to pay attention to is that I don't want, for example, I don't want to have my 2 larger scale prints together. So I don't want my stars here and my flowers here, because those are the largest prints, aren't they? Because if I were to move this one out the way, you can see my smaller prints here. Okay, so if I were to bring this down here, now I have my 2 darks together and my 2 lights together. The importance here is that we want the block to be balanced. So if we get it right at this stage, then we get the whole layout of the quilt top correct, because then it will be balanced. Okay, so for example, if I were to sew these 2 darks together, these will be very prominent and these will may slightly disappear into the background because they're lighter, and these will more or less form a different pattern, and we don't want that. We want to mix them around. Okay, so what I am going to do is to move it around until it makes sense. So we're working with lights and darks and the print size. So for example, I'm going to move this one and swap it down there. Okay, so now I have lights, dark, dark, lights. So what I'm going to do is put that one there. Okay, so I have light, dark, light, dark. But again, it doesn't make sense because I've got my 2 prints there. So one has got to move. So I'm going to move this light here and put that there. And again, I still got it in the middle. It's confusing, isn't it? So what I'm going to do in this instance, I'm going to put my 2 darks there, and I'm going to put my light in the middle there. All right, so then I have my dark, light, dark, light. It's very important that you get this stage correct. Okay, so in this instance here, I have a large scale, I've got a sort of a medium scale here, and I've got a smaller scale and back to a large scale. Yes, these 2 are very similar in scale, but sometimes you may have to work with what you have. So for this instance here, having these 2 scales together is okay, because I have a light and a dark. I hope that makes sense, guys. Okay, so what I'm going to do is sew these 2 together, and then I'm going to sew these 2 together. Note that I have the dark on the end and I've got the light on the end there. Very important, so make note of these things. All right, so let's sew these 2 together, and then I'll come back and show you the next step. All right, so once we have our fabric sewn together, so I've made a tube, so I have sewn the 2 strips together and then add them on top each other. Okay, now you need your ruler and you need to find your 45-degree line and line it up at the top of your strips. So you're going to turn it. Once you find your 45-degree line on your ruler, you need to angle it properly just to make sure it actually is correct. So I'm just going to find mine. There it is. So I'm going to line it up to the tip up there, the corner. So this is the center of my ruler there. So my 45-degree line is there. So I'm just taking it and putting it right. That area goes right to the top there where my 1/4-inch seam is, and I'm just angling it, make sure it's level and straight. So I've got my 45-degree line. So what you should see is your 45-degree line up here, and your 45-degree line on top there as well. So the top and the corner, it should line up. Let me just come down a little bit more so that it's more closer. So So I'll find that back again. So 45-degree, both areas. So 45 there, and I can see my 45 there line up. Okay, what you do not want to do is to bring it all the way off, because then you'll be cutting incorrectly. We need to move it down a little bit, so just to make sure that we're not cutting on the end there. We don't want that, it's going to be waste anyway. Okay, so I'm just going to line up yet again, right in the middle, 45-degree, and I'm going to cut. Okay, once I've done that, that is now waste. I always tend not to press down enough. That's my bad habit. Right, so once you have that first 45-degree line, what I'm going to do is get a 90-degree now, and I'm just going to line up the top up there, and I'm simply going to cut. So I'm lining it up at the top there, and I'm going to cut. And what you need to do once you continue to do this, so I think I made sure and press down on that one. Nope, I didn't press down much enough because my wrist hurts, so I'm a little bit, okay, let's get that. My pressure point is a little bit soft. I don't want to hurt my hand. All right, so, and again, what we're going to do now is find the 45-degree again and continue to make our cuts. Lost it now. Now, what I failed to mention is that you need to make sure that you do an accurate 1/4 inch seam. Very, very important that you do that. So I found my 45-degree line up there, and I'm just continuing to cut. Just making sure everything lines up properly. I mean, at this stage, there's no point in rushing, so just take your time. If you're unsure, what you can do is take your original cut, turn it upside down, and just measure it there, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, I'm doing it correctly. All right, so that's what you need to do if you think you haven't got the cut correctly. Okay, now what I was about to say before the strip fell is that you need to ensure that you still have your right amount of cuts as you move along, because sometimes you can shift the cuts a little bit. Okay, and what I mean by that is that you're lining up for your 45-degree might be slightly off. So it's important that when you continue in your cuts all the way down, that you ensure that you stop and check just to make sure you have your 45-degree yet again. I'm just going to check and find it back again because I keep losing it. There it is. And everything seems to be all right. So what I am going to do is to continue with my cuts all the way down. I can see my line lined up nicely there. And then I'm going to get my cuts, and then I'm going to show you how to make the block very, very quickly. Okay, so I've cut my strips now. I'm just going to open them up. You can see this beautiful square. So I'm just going to iron it, make sure it's lovely and flat. I'm using a very cool iron here. It's not hot. And there is some steam on it. Now, I think I mentioned it, but I'm going to say it again. You need to ensure that you have perfect 1/4 inch seam for this particular block. Once we've done all of them, you're going to be needing some background fabric, and the background fabric color I've chosen is white. You need 4 of these individual squares to make up your block. All right, so let's put that to the side. So you're going to use your block now, your smaller blocks, to make your major block. So I'm going to put all of the longer strips. Now we do have some dog ears here, which I'm going to quickly snip off for presentation purposes, just so that everything gels together nicely. Now, it's important to do this because this particular block, you're going to have quite a number of them come together. So it's going to make that area bulky. So I would definitely advise to give it a little bit of a snip at this stage so that it's easier. And it helps with the quilting, just makes it a lot more simplified so you don't get that bulk and don't risk breaking your needle. So I'm going to put all of the long bits together. Karen, honestly. Okay, so I'm going to do like so. Alright, so I'm going to turn this on this side because I don't want this one to be too close to it. Let me move that up a bit so you can see what I'm doing. And probably I should back off. There you go. So I'm just going to come down here so you can see what I'm doing. So right, as I was saying, I'm going to use the longest part here to form the block. So I'm going to put these two together. Initially, I had this like so. Excuse me, I don't want that. Okay, so I'm just going to line it up like so. I could also turn it this way because I don't want these two together. So that is my block there. So what I'm going to do is sew these together front side. Now this, make sure your blocks all are even. Now I can see mine's here are even, and that's because I wasn't sure when I was doing my strips it was an accurate 1/4 inch seam. All right, so I'm going to sew these front sides together. Okay, so before I do that, I'm just going to show you what the block forms. So we are going to, once we've done all that, we're going to be needing some background fabric, and my background fabric here is white. And all I'm going to do is put those there, and put that there, and we're going to draw a line and sew on the line. So this is your gumball block. It's a beautiful block. Okay, that looks really lovely. So we're going to sew along there, sew along there. So we're sewing from the both ends, across, cut, trim, come back, and I'll show you the entire block. All right, so we're almost at the last stages now. Okay, so I've sewn all of my 4 squares at the corner. I've even pinned it just to ensure it stays on there without slipping. And I ironed my block once I stitched all 4 of the squares together. Okay, so as you can see, I draw a line there. Hopefully the camera picks it up. I use my heat erasable pen, and all I'm going to do is literally cut 1/4 inch away because I want to remove this side so I can flip it over. All right, so I'm just going to line it up 1/4 inch, and sew and cut. Ignore me. Now that's waist. If you want to go ahead and stitch before, then you can, so you have half square triangles there. So I'm going to continue with that, and I'll come back and show you the completed block. Okay, so that looks really nice, doesn't it, as is? So all we need to do now is fold these back gently. Now you will have a white line there, so you could turn it upside down, take your iron, put a little bit of steam on it there, and do that for all of them, just so that you don't have that white seam line peeping out. Obviously, if you use a darker color, then you don't have that issue, and you can press the seam however it wants to go. Notice I've pressed behind as well to try and get it as flat as possible. So I'm going to push it back with my fingers first, just to ensure. So one of the reasons why it's pushing it towards me is because the seam lines are coming towards me, isn't it? So we're just going to have to give it a little bit of steam and put it back. Let it head towards the center of the block, so you want it angled away, as you would normally. So, okay, so I reckon that's good. And I'm just going to give that a good press before I show you the block completed. And this is your block. That is your gumball block. All right, so we're going to make some more and build the quilt together. And I'm going to show you how to join them. It looks beautiful. Gumball block. I'm going to show you how to do the completed quilt in a few days' time. Okay? All right, bye for now. Happy quilting. Let me know what you think of the block and the colors. Notice how it rotates really nicely and we haven't got the colors together, so it shows up the pattern and the scale of the prints really nicely. Okay guys, all right, let's move on. Alright, so let's take all of the blocks and start laying them out. And I am going to lay them out. You've got an option. You can put them all together like so, and you will get, I imagine, a secondary pattern in the middle with all of the blocks. Shimmy that over a little bit like so. Alright, this is what you would get. So you'll get a 4-patch in the middle, or a diamond and cut. It's 4-patch now. So you'll get a diamond and cut in the middle there. Alright, obviously you'll change it around, but I did not want to design it like this. So in my head, I am thinking 3 rows. Okay, this is my layout. 3 rows. That's the size of the quilt. but I am going to add sashings. So if I spread it out a little bit, like so. I'm just going to shimmy that up a little bit so I have enough room. I already have my sashings cut here already, and I'm just going to add like so. I mean, you can lay it out however you want. You can make the quilt as big as you desire. In all honesty, I wanted to do a bigger one, but since I became ill, the time has sort of passed to complete this quilt. So I always give myself a bit of a time to make the quilt. So this is what this one would look like. I have already done a strip. Okay, and so the strip will go in the middle there, like so. Alright, and then have one here, one at the top, and then I will border the whole thing. I am thinking of doing 2 borders, so I'm going to do the white border again around the quilt. I may add some cornerstones with some of the blue fabric, which is what I'm visualizing. I have already sewn a row together, so this is what it looks like. Alright, so that's what it looks like. So obviously it's going to have an inner row with the sashings. So I have done 12 blocks in total. Okay, so I'm going to get it all sewn together. Then I'll come back and then we will add some borders. I'll give you some ideas of how I'm thinking of moving forward with the borders. I am kind of liking the way this looks. Yes, there is a lot of white, but there's also a lot of blue, and I think it balances out really nicely. The idea was to make a blue and white quilt, in all honesty. All right, what I am thinking though, I do have some of the darker strips, so I'm going to move some of that darker strip around. In all honesty, it's not a big deal. It's really what you visualize and how you want to make your block. It's not a big deal at all, but I just want to have some of the darker strips sort of dotted around. Like these are more blue, this one's got some darker strips in it, so I just wanted to have it more dotted around the quilt rather than closely together. So it's just that visually it's balanced, that's all. You don't have to, but at the end of the day, they're all blue anyway. Different shades of lights, mediums, and darks. Alright, so I'm going to sew this all together and then add another inner row there, another inner row there, border it with some cornerstones, again blue, and then a final border around it. I think it definitely needs 2 borders, this one. Alright, so let me get moving on that one. just had to stop and show you this. So I'm quilting there. Jackson has decided to move his bed and bring it right opposite so he can see what I am doing. So this is his view. Right there. Typical, isn't it? I can't have 5 minutes. Can I not? No? Are you going to put your bed back? Because he's taken it from all the way here. This is his area here. So this is where he stays. So he's come all the way here, brought it all the way, and park it here so he can see what I am doing. And leaving his big old bones everywhere. I'm tired of tidying up after you, mate. Do you know that, right? You've made my life a little bit more hardworking. Are you going to start chipping in, Jackson? Are you going to start chipping in? Don't give me that cute face. Huh? What are you giving me a cute face for? Don't wink at me either. I need a response. No, nothing? You quiet? Is that how to keep you quiet on the camera? What are you sniffing the camera for? Alright, let me get back to work before you start acting up. Alright guys, so this quilt is completed. This quilt measures 55 by 69. This is absolutely gorgeous. I just love the gumball. I only made 12 blocks, as you can see, but nevertheless it's beautiful. This will make a very beautiful bed quilt. I love the colors combination. It's just so damn beautiful. Really, really lovely. Let me go in closely and show you. It's flickering a little bit, don't know why. I guess it's because of the lighting. It's not dark outside, but it's a bit rainy, so it's kind of overcast and not giving me natural light. But beautiful, beautiful quilt. As you can see, I did a white inner border here, and obviously with the sashings, it just really highlights the whole block. I did add some cornerstones using the scraps, and in the corner there as well I used the same final blue border as in the print there. Overall, very beautiful, very, very beautiful. Love it. It's a good size actually, nice size for a single bed. Really, really beautiful. Just love it. It really does look like a gumball. Absolutely gorgeous. I don't know, when I look at it sometimes I feel like my eyes are making it spin. I don't know if that's happening to you, but I just feel like it's moving the blocks. But very beautiful. I did a lot of quilting on this. I think for the type of quilt it needed it. I always like doing lots of quilting on white quilts. So on the borders, the white border that is, I did a lot of feathers. I'm trying to get my head out of shot. Oh no, that's the mic. A lot of feathers. I also did meandering on the gumballs as well, because ideally you don't really see that. And I did also meandering in the sashings going this way. But horizontally I did the feathers as well, but can't make it out, I guess. But looks really lovely, guys. I'm really, really pleased with it. Very, very beautiful. I'm just saying quiet so you can actually see what work I have done. Sometimes just the lack of talking takes away the beauty. But absolutely gorgeous. So lovely. On the back, I use a really beautiful blue fabric, and again this one is flannelette, and it's really lovely and soft. Just feels so lovely and gentle and soft and baby-like. Absolutely love the blue on blue. And on the binding, a beautiful pop of blue color with yellow and pink tones, just to really highlight and frame up the quilt, which is what I really love to do. I love doing that. In the corner, I use again any bits of scraps left over from the fabric in the corner there to make cornerstones. and I use the same one in all. So literally I've used the same fabrics throughout to make the quilt top, as you can tell. Absolutely gorgeous. Really, really beautiful. Love it. I just love it. It just looks like it's moving. Every time I look at it, it looks like it's literally moving. So beautiful. And the back, let me show you again, it just really makes the whole quilt. I think a beautiful king size quilt looks amazing in this. I mean, it will take over the room. It will captivate the room. You walk into someone's bedroom and you see a bed quilt like this on it. Amazing. In fact, I want to go throw it over the bed and let's see what it looks like. Alright, so this is it on the bed. That's what it looks like. So beautiful. You can see all of the quilting now in this lighting. At least from my point of view anyway. In the blue board I did meandering, but you wouldn't see that. Again, I don't usually do anything fancy in really dark shades because it's pointless. Absolutely gorgeous. Looks really, I'm just so loving it. Sometimes I just wish that I had the time to make really big bed quilts, but I think, oh my god, yeah, beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Doesn't that stand out? So lovely. Really, really nice. I mean, I have a queen size bed, so this fits really nicely just there. So this will be perfect, as I said, for a single bed. Just looks really good. Really lovely. As I said, imagine this as a king size. Beautiful. Or even a queen size. Absolutely gorgeous. A couple more, well, not a couple more. At least another 8 more will definitely get you there. Or even another 4 more. Add some bigger borders and make it up. So lovely. So, so lovely. Really, really beautiful. Love it. Love, love the colors. I would definitely say to choose blue. Obviously, blue is my favorite color. So I would say, I think the blue just pops literally. And if you notice, everything is blue and white, or just different shades of blue. And it's worked so beautifully. Absolutely gorgeous. This quilt is very much beginner friendly. If you feel like you need a challenge, or you know, you just want to breeze through something, it is a little bit, you know, in the sense that it takes a little while to build it. I wouldn't say it's a weekend quilt. I wouldn't say that. It's a quilt that you would make with love. Again, well, we make all our quilts with love, don't we? But it's a really beautiful one, and I think once you finish it, you take your time when you finish it, you will see how lovely it is. I mean, the blocks comes together, but I think if you want to make a big one, you definitely need to add on another 8. I think will be amazing. Absolutely amazing. I think this is another quilt that I would actually make over. Another quilt I want to make over is the ring toss. I want to do that again. I want to try it in different colors and see what it looks like. But this is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. I can't get over it. I love the cornerstones as well. I know I keep going over the same thing, but just really love it. Let's look at the back. Absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? So, so beautiful. Everything just works really nicely. Alright guys, so I'll definitely let you go now. And I will see you in the next one. Bye for now, and happy quilting.